the sky with colors bold, red and green, the stories told. Through the laughter, joy unfolds, a rainbow dream our hearts uphold.
Imagine walking into a traditional Taiwanese herbal pharmacy.
Okay.
You know, you aren't greeted by sterile fluorescent aisles or like aggressive marketing telling you to buy 100 different supplements.
Right. None of that modern pharmacy chaos.
Exactly. Instead, there's just this quiet focus. You sit down, you describe what feels out of balance in your life, and the pharmacist just listens.
They actually take the time.
Yeah. Then, drawing on generations of knowledge, they don't hand you an encyclopedia of herbs. They meticulously measure and combine elements to create a single, perfectly distilled remedy just for you.
Just what you need.
They give you exactly what you need to heal and absolutely nothing more. So now, what if a modern global book publisher operated with that exact same philosophy?
It completely flips our current expectation of media. I mean, right now, we treat information like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Oh, for sure.
And we are constantly encouraged to, pile our plates high, but we usually just end up intellectually bloated and, starving for actual meaning.
Which is exactly why we are exploring this today. So, welcome to the Living Well, Living Rich podcast, and specifically to today's deep dive.
It's a really fascinating one.
It really is. We're looking at the driving philosophy behind a truly unique global publishing brand called Kokoshungsan Ltd.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're going to be unpacking the origins of their initiative, the mind of their founder, Dr. Xu Chenhu, and diving into the actual narrative approach of one of their flagship publications.
Which is a book called The Star Collector's Lesson, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But, rather than just jumping straight into the biography, let's talk about legacy. Where does this all actually begin?
What's fascinating here is to understand how radical their approach is, you really have to look at the contrast between their academic rigor and their cultural roots.
Okay, lay it out for us.
So Dr. Howell holds a PhD from the University of Bristol in the UK.
Well,
yeah, that represents an incredibly high level of Western institutional academic rigor. She oversees the development and editorial direction of everything they publish, but the spiritual core of this digital publishing house, it isn't a university lecture hall.
Right.
It is literally that traditional Taiwanese herbal shop you just described.
The Yongsheng Herbal Pharmacy.
Exactly.
It was run by her parents, Mr. Hu Shusan and Mrs. Peng Kai-feng. And this isn't just, a cute origin story for a brand.
No, not at all.
It is the literal structural blueprint for how they build books. It's like distilling a complex herbal remedy into a single potent drop. Except here, Dr. Howell is taking that family tradition and applying it to knowledge instead of medicine.
Yeah, and that pivot is just incredible. They're moving from physical healing to mental and societal empowerment.
That's a good way to put it.
Think about the psychology of someone walking into a pharmacy versus someone logging onto the internet. Both are, they're looking for a solution to a problem.
Right.
But on the internet, the solution is buried under SEO optimization, clickbait, and endless jargon. The Yongsheng Pharmacy was built on care, integrity, and a deep respect for learning.
And curation.
Exactly. Curation. The pharmacist is a curator. They take on the burden of understanding the vast, complex world of medicinal elements so that the patient doesn't have to. The patient just gets the benefit.
So Kokoshungsan is taking that dynamic and applying it directly to knowledge. Like if you were listening to this right now, think about how often you feel completely overwhelmed when trying to learn a new skill or understand a global issue.
Oh, constantly.
You are essentially a patient suffering from information overload. And Dr. Howe and her team are acting as the intellectual pharmacists.
Right.
They are looking at this massive, chaotic landscape of data and saying, well, let's distill this. Let's formulate a remedy for the mind.
And if they approach publishing like a pharmacist approaches wellness, you start to see it manifest in their core educational philosophy.
Tell us about that.
They believe, and they state this explicitly, that knowledge changes destiny and education changes the world.
A big claim.
It is. But the mechanism they use to achieve that is what caught my attention. They operate on a principle that, quote, learning does not need to be complicated, and that small ideas understood clearly can create lasting change.
Okay, but wait. Let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
What for it?
Isn't the modern world incredibly complex? Like, we're dealing with massive interconnected issues, rapid technological disruption, global economic shifts, complex geopolitics.
Oh, yeah, it's a mess up there.
So can small, simple ideas really create lasting change? Doesn't simplifying our learning actually do us a disservice in an era dominated by such complicated problems?
That is honestly the natural reflex we all have because we've been conditioned to equate complexity with value.
Right. We think hard means good.
Exactly. We think if a book is incredibly dense and difficult to read, it must be important. But simple does not mean simplistic.
Well, that's a key distinction.
It really is. Simplistic is ignoring the nuance of a problem. Simple is achieving clarity. It takes an enormous amount of mastery to strip away the academic posturing and the unnecessary jargon to reveal the core truth of a concept.
See the old quote, right? Like, I would have written a shorter letter, but I did not have the time.
Yes. Perfect example.
It takes way more work for the author to be clear than it does for them to just be complicated.
Precisely. I mean, think about the last dense nonfiction book you tried to read. How much of that complexity was actually necessary for your understanding?
Bet you not much.
Right, and how much was just the author proving how smart they were? When Kokoshungsan focuses on small, clearly understood ideas, they are actively reducing the cognitive friction for the reader.
Making it actually digestible.
Exactly. Because if an idea is buried under 20 layers of theory, you might memorize it for a test, but you won't use it in your everyday life.
You can't use a tool if the handle is covered in thorns. You have to be able to grasp it.
Right. And by making knowledge accessible, they empower individuals to actually apply it. They focus their books on encouraging curiosity, creativity, and compassion.
So they're building foundational skills.
Yeah. If you teach someone a small, simple principle about critical thinking and you teach it with absolute clarity, that curious person can scale that principle up to decode a complex geopolitical news story.
Wow, okay.
The power isn't in the volume of data, it's in the clarity of the foundational idea.
Okay, so having traditional values and a simple philosophy is great in theory. But how is this actually executed in a modern, highly technological world? Let's look at the specific publication sitting on the desk today.
Yes, let's dive into that.
The Star Collector's Lesson. How does a publisher actually write a book that delivers these small ideas without just printing, a list of platitudes?
Well, they do it by fundamentally blending formats. They don't just write dry, factual treatises.
That good.
Right. The Star Collector's Lesson actively blends nonfiction truths with fictional narratives and illustrative examples. They recognize a basic reality of human psychology. We are wired for narrative.
Oh, completely.
A story lowers our defensive barriers.
It's so true. When someone lectures you with facts, your brain immediately starts looking for counter-arguments.
Yep, you get defensive.
But when someone tells you a story, you just lean in. You want to know what happens next.
Exactly. And the metaphor of the Star Collector is so incredibly potent for the modern learner. Think about the night sky.
Okay.
It represents the universe of knowledge out there. The internet, the endless libraries, the billions of data points. It is vast, dark, and completely overwhelming.
You can't look at all of it.
No, you cannot capture the whole sky. If you try, you just end up paralyzed.
So the Star Collector is someone who realizes they don't need the whole sky. They just need to curate specific, bright points of light.
Yes. Each star represents one of those small, clearly understood ideas. And the book uses this narrative framework to teach actual nonfiction skills like media literacy and character education.
Wait, really? Through a story?
Yeah. The lesson of the Star Collector isn't about hoarding light. It's about discerning which stars actually help you navigate in the dark. It is fundamentally a story about discernment.
That is fascinating. So instead of writing a textbook called, Media Literacy and Ethical Consumption in the Digital Age.
Which sounds like something you'd read to fall asleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of that, they give you a character navigating a vast expanse, learning to identify what is true and useful. They're basically sneaking the vegetables into the narrative so the reader actually absorbs the nutrients.
And that ties right back to the pharmacy.
Oh, right.
A good remedy has to be something the patient can actually swallow. By using creative interpretation and storytelling, Kokoshungsan ensures the knowledge is fully digested.
That makes total sense.
They note in their philosophy that stories help us understand one another and imagine new possibilities. They are using empathy as an educational tool.
Okay, that covers the content, but what about the delivery? If the goal is absolute accessibility, getting these stars into the hands of as many people as possible, how do they handle the friction of modern media consumption?
Well, by being completely medium agnostic.
What does that mean in practice?
They structure their publishing so that works like the Star Collector's Lesson are available in basically every conceivable format. Paperback, hardcover, EPB, PDF, audiobook, and even interactive digital editions.
Oh, wow. They really cover all the bases.
They actively adapt the formatting to accommodate the specific design requirements of those different platforms.
Because friction isn't just about big words, is it?
No, not at all.
Friction is also about forcing a commuter to try and read a hardcover book while driving.
Right. Impossible.
Or making a visual learner listen to a dense audio file. By making the book available everywhere, in every format, they just remove the excuse not to learn. They're meeting the learner exactly where they are.
And they're building a bridge between the physical and digital worlds, too.
How so?
For readers who buy their physical books, they include QR codes right in the text.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, you scan the page, and it unlocks a broader digital ecosystem of learning resources, more ebooks, and expanded educational content. They treat the book not as a closed container, but as an open door.
Okay, speaking of the digital ecosystem, here's where it gets really interesting.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
Right? We've been talking about traditional pharmacies and ancient storytelling techniques. But when you look at the copyright and disclosure pages for their works, you find an incredibly modern element.
Yes, the AI-assisted creation disclosure.
Exactly. They're openly stating that they use artificial intelligence tools.
It is arguably the most modern aspect of their entire operation. They list exactly how they use these tools for ideation, drafting, editing, translation support, illustration generation, and production workflows.
In today's landscape, that is a really bold move.
It's unheard of, honestly.
Most publishers and creators are terrified of admitting they use AI. They hide it because they're worried it cheapens the work, or they fear a public backlash. So why be so intensely transparent about it?
Because hiding it would violate the very character education they're trying to teach.
Integrity.
Exactly. Kokoshungsan is built on integrity. Think back to the Yongsheng Pharmacy. You would never want a pharmacist slipping a powerful experimental ingredient into your remedy without telling you.
No, that would be terrifying.
Right. You want them to be upfront about exactly what is in the vial and how it was prepared.
It's like using a highly advanced food processor in a traditional kitchen.
That's a great analogy.
The AI is the food processor. It does the rapid chopping, the prep work, the tedious, repetitive tasks that usually slow down the line. But Dr. Hao and the team at Kokoshungsan, they act as the master chefs. They are the ones writing the recipe.
And the disclosure explicitly states the crucial second half. It says, all content is reviewed, curated, and approved by the author and publisher. The author and Kokoshungsan Ltd. Retain full creative responsibility and exclusive copyright ownership.
So the human is still tasting the dish before it leaves the kitchen.
Absolutely. The machine doesn't know what tastes good. It just knows how to chop fast.
Right.
By letting the AI handle the heavy lifting of drafting or translation support, the human authors are freed up to focus entirely on the soul of the book. They can focus on making sure the ideas are clear, empathetic, and impactful.
And by being transparent about it, they're actually modeling ethical participation in the modern world.
They really are. They're teaching media literacy in real time.
Showing, not just telling.
Yeah, they are showing their readers, yes, these powerful AI tools exist. Yes, we use them to enhance our reach and our translations so these ideas can cross global borders. But a human being is still at the wheel, taking ultimate responsibility. They remove the stigma of the technology and replace it with accountability.
Which is exactly what we need right now. We don't need companies pretending the future isn't happening. We need companies showing us how to navigate the future with our humanity intact.
It proves that you don't have to abandon traditional values to embrace the cutting edge. In fact, traditional values like care, integrity, and responsibility are the only things that can keep modern technologies from running off the rails.
Wow, that's profound.
And it's why they were so meticulous about their legal frameworks, too. They include notices about third-party content, committing to proper commercial licensing, and reminding readers that educational books don't replace professional legal or medical advice.
Setting boundaries.
Yes, they set the boundaries clearly so the reader feels safe.
It really is a remarkable synthesis. You take the ancient wisdom and care of a Taiwanese herbal pharmacy.
Combine it with the intense academic rigor of a British PhD.
Wrap it in the psychological power of hybrid storytelling and power it all with transparent, ethical AI. And the entire machine is aimed at one single goal:
making learning simple and accessible.
Making learning simple. It's brilliant.
They are offering a blueprint for lifelong growth that respects the reader's time and cognitive load. It's a reminder that a well-informed life isn't about consuming everything. It's about consuming the right things, clearly understood.
So if you are listening to this and you are feeling the weight of that information overload we talked about at the beginning.
Which, let's be honest, we all are.
Right. If you feel like you're wandering in the dark trying to collect the whole sky, there is a completely different way to approach your own education. If you want to explore these clear, meaningful drops of knowledge, we highly recommend you visit Kokoshungsan.net.
Definitely. And if you find yourself with one of their physical books, take advantage of those QR codes. Engage with the broader ecosystem they've built. It is designed to be a frictionless path to understanding.
Which ties everything right back to the core mission of the Living Well, Living Rich podcast.
It sure does.
Because truly, living a rich life isn't just a metric of your bank account. A rich life is fundamentally built on a foundation of continuous accessible learning.
Yeah.
It's built on cultivating a curious mind that isn't bogged down by unnecessary jargon or noise. Kokoshungsan believes that knowledge changes destiny. And they're providing the precise, carefully measured tools to make that happen, one simple idea at a time.
It changes the question from how much can I learn today to what is the most clarifying thing I can understand today.
And that is the perfect thought to leave on. We've journeyed all the way from the meticulous care of a family pharmacy to the ethical frontiers of artificial intelligence.
Quite a trip.
But as you go about the rest of your day, look at your own media diet. Look at the articles you read and the videos you watch. We talked about how Kokoshungsan treats knowledge as a carefully crafted remedy. So, if thoughtfully curated, clearly understood knowledge is the new herbal remedy for an unburdened mind, what single bright star of an idea will you choose to collect today to begin changing your own destiny?
Stars are shining, hearts are bright in the snow on this crisp night. Mystic whispers fill the air, Christmas magic everywhere. Paint the sky with colors bold, red and green, the story's told. Through the laughter, joy unfolds, a rainbow dream our hearts uphold. Children's laughter, pure delight, twinkling lights and frosty nights, candy canes and mugs of cheer, holiday magic drawing near. Snowflakes falling, whisper low, in their dance a soft halo. Every note and every sound wraps us in enchantment found. Paint the sky with colors bold, red and green, the story's told. Through the laughter, joy unfolds, a rainbow dream our hearts uphold. Children's laughter, pure delight, twinkling lights and frosty nights, candy canes and mugs of cheer, holiday magic drawing near. Snowflakes falling, whisper low, in their dance a soft halo. Every note and every sound wraps us in enchantment found. Paint the sky with colors bold, red and green, the story's told. Through the laughter, joy unfolds, a rainbow dream our hearts uphold. Love and wonder shine so bright, warm embrace of pure delight. Gifts of hope and joy we share, magic wrapped in festive care.